Brianas Law is the name given to New York Senate Bill S3165B, signed by Governor Andrew Cuomo during the 2017 session. My name is Clark Pena, and welcome to the Advocates Corner on a special program today because we have history with us here today. Joining us to talk further about Brianas Law and BrianaLives.org.com, we have Briana's mother, Carmen Ojeda.
Hi, how
Welcome.
are you?
Welcome to the Advocates Corner.
Thank you for having me.
Tell us a little bit about, how we got here, without getting too much into details, because we know the incident. Let us know when it happened, and we want to talk a little bit more about Briana and who she was and who she is today.
Okay. This happened August 27th, 2010. With Carroll Park, Briana had an asthma attack. And I went to our local hospital, which was the closest hospital to where we were, Carroll Park, which was Long Island College Hospital. And on the way there, an incident happened where an officer had pulled me over. Now, unbeknownst to me, he didn't know CPR. So I asked him, do you know CPR? And he said no. After that, I said, if he doesn't know CPR, who else doesn't know CPR? So now we started looking into this and trying to find out, what's going on with this. And we found out that a lot of officers are not trained in CPR. They was, passing through without those credentials that you do need as a peace officer. So this is where we started Briana's Law.
Briana, unfortunately, did not make it.
No, she did not. No, she did not. Because of that officer stopping me, because I went down the one-way street on Henry Street.
You were trying to save your daughter.
Right. That was the first day that the Brooklyn Bridge was had construction going on, so there were no detours. The traffic was totally congested, and everybody was just on top of each other. And the only way that I saw an opening was the one-way street. So I took it, God's grace, and God praying the whole time, I took that street, and that's where I bumped into the officer, Alfonso Mendez, that didn't know CPR. And he was very arrogant with me, Not only was it that he didn't know CPR, I don't think he had any skills, personal skills as well, because he was very arrogant. He was telling me to call 911. I told him, yes, 911, help me. The crowd started gathering and started, yelling at him, help her, help her. And, he wanted to write me a ticket. And I'm telling him, my daughter is having a severe asthma attack. She's on a defibrillator, so she has the machine on. But she saw how he was yelling at me. She took it off to say, Mommy. When she took it off, she dropped there. Boom. I mean, if you can imagine the sound that I still hear in my head to this day of her dropping.
You kept driving?
At that point, I went to the back of the car.
You need to take a break. It's okay.
No, I can keep going. At that point, I went to the back of the car and I picked my daughter up from the floor. And that's when I asked him, do you know CPR? Arrogantly, he said, I don't know CPR, I don't do CPR. So Good Samaritan saw that he was just disputing with me. I didn't have time for any of that because every second counts. With CPR, every second counts. It's unbelievable what a second can do. But so Good Samaritan, Scott Voloshin came over and said, forget him. Let's go. Grab my daughter from my hands. He held her so I can go to the hospital. He sat in the back seat. And I continued to drive. His car was in the way. It's on an angle. So I hit the back of it to push it out of the way. Would you believe that he still got in his car, went behind me? Now he's in pursuit of me. Like if I'm a criminal. I'm just trying to save my daughter's life. That's all. And each car that's coming and seeing the whooping, the sirens, they think that he's pulling me over. So they're trying to block me in, and I just kept going. It's only 2 to 3 blocks, no exaggeration, away, and I can see the emergency room. So I kept going, and I made the left. The ambulance, the bus was already out. They knew to be ready for us. They took her and they bring her in. They started working on her, and they told me, at the end, it took an hour.
That she unfortunately did not.
An hour. They worked on her, and they told me, the doctor, that if they had a couple of more minutes
to work on her,
they would have saved her life. So
Unbelievable.
because of that officer's delay and his incompetence of not knowing his job, because I know all officers are trained in the academy. I know that if he needed to do it for his officer or someone in his camp, he would be able to do it. So I didn't understand that. I still don't understand that. So when that doctor told me if I had a couple of more minutes, I couldn't stop thinking about this officer. Like, where is he now? Where did he go? He just disappeared now, as if this didn't happen. 4 days, 4 days, he had shaved his head and never reported that incident until we found him through a credit card receipt. As a mom, I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna find out where the heck you are, because you are an officer to the public. If you do that to me, you can do that to anyone else. So I needed to make this known. I needed someone to know that this is happening. They didn't believe me. They kept saying it was not an officer. It must have been a traffic agent. It must have been all different types of, but police officer.
Right,
but it was a police officer in the end. I was vindicated on that.
Did you put your grief into action?
Absolutely.
And I've seen I've seen so many clippings. There's so many clippings out there, press coverage about this case. You guys are strong. You guys are strong. You pushed a piece of legislation that is now law.
Yes.
And it's saving lives.
Yes. Just
saving
now, three lives have been saved.
That we know.
Last week
It
alone.
could be more. Yeah.
That's just alone. I get emails constantly of lives being saved. So
Right.
it's
Well,
there's nothing better than saving a life. Unfortunately,
Absolutely.
my daughter didn't get that same,
Absolutely.
how can I say this?
Same
The
opportunity.
same opportunity,
Correct.
right? Thank you,
Right.
Mr. Pena, thank you.
You're welcome.
The same opportunity that other people will have through Briana Lives.
Absolutely.
.com.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Carmen,
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
so
Pena,
much.
for having
we're
me.
going to have your husband on
I have
next.
to wipe my mascara off
That's
your
okay.
face.
You saw that only here. We're going to have your husband on next, and stay strong. We're going to be doing a lot of things
Yes.
as we move forward. We're going to come right back with Michael Ojeda. Let's hear from him. Welcome back. I'm Clark Pena, and this is your Advocates Corner. We're going through an emotional time here in this program because this is a tough case. It's a tough case to talk about, to relive. And we have here with us today the husband of Carmen Ojeda, Michael Ojeda, father of Brianna. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
I know this is tough to talk about once again, and as we move forward, all the other interviews that are going to come into play, you have to relive this. I saw a clip where you said that you look forward to hearing a knock on the door and watch your daughter come in. That just broke me up. Tell us a little bit about Brianna. What kind of daughter was she?
She was exceptional. She was my life. She was everything she filled my life. And now my life is pretty much empty, even though I still have a family, but she was like something so special.
Yeah, like I saw in another interview, you said it's like a lifelong death sentence, right?
Absolutely, it's a life sentence, yes, absolutely.
Is there ever closure to something like this? I don't think there is.
No, actually there isn't. Clark, every morning I wake up and I pray to God that it was just a bad dream, that I'm living a dream. But when I wake up and I see an empty room, and then it just slaps me in the face. And it's like every day when I'm waking up, I'm trying to convince to myself that she's there. And during the day, I convince myself that she's in college and that I'm just waiting for her.
Waiting for her to come.
And that's the way I'm able to deal with this. But reality always comes, some part of the day. And
you guys, in a short period of time that we've been working together, I consider you guys families. You guys, I love talking to you guys and seeing how during these difficult times to this day, you remain together. Usually, we were talking about this off camera. The relationship doesn't continue. People just because of the pressures behind the death of a child. How did you keep it together?
Well, Clark, we are soulmates. We've been together for 23 years, and what it did was make us even closer. When love is for real, it just makes you lean on each other to get through these things, because that's what family does. And me as a father, I had to take charge and just be there. And
move it forward.
Yes, and just reassure them. And we're also religious people.
Amen.
So I just reassure them and just remind them that soon we will meet again. And we just have to live our life as pure as possible, just so we can get there.
Just so you can get there. And it's something that you've done is you've taken your grief and you put it into action. Passed legislation. Now you have created the Brianna Lives Foundation. What is it? What are you going to do with the foundation? How are you going to move forward and continue to save lives under that title?
Well, now with the foundation and the help of God, of course, that comes first, we'll be able to go nationwide and everybody have a chance at living, because everybody deserves a chance to live.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I was at the 115th Street, 115th Precinct in Queens when yourself and Carmen and Senator Hamilton gave the first Brianna Lives Foundation Award. And I saw when you looked at that police officer that just 5 months out of the academy saved that young life, and you hugged him. You can see how real that was. What would you like to say to the good police officers that are saving lives, that
Keep-
take their job serious?
Well, Clark, I would like to tell them to keep up the good work and to be an example to the other ones so they can see and feel the glorifications you get from saving a life. Because a lot of police officers work their whole career just to save one life. So, and it's so fulfilling to them, as I'm told.
Right.
And so just keep up the good work, man.
You have an event coming up on the steps of City Hall on the 27th, correct?
Yes, August 27th.
August 27th, okay.
They're going to give my wife and I, they're going to present us proclamation. As a matter of fact, it's 3 proclamations, one from the Assembly, one from the City Council, and one from the Senate.
Okay. I've seen, we're going to put the flyer up. As a matter of fact, the flyer is right behind us. You can also go on our website, theadvocatescornernyc.com. We'll have the flyer up there so people can show up. We're getting a lot of calls of people that want to be there.
Yes.
They really want to be there. Also, we just visited a national night out at the 3-2 precinct. Like a lot of police officers were saying there, you guys are royalty. They have a lot of respect for the peace that you guys have pushed, the legislation. To get a piece of legislation passed, I've been in politics for a long time, it's very difficult. And you not only got it passed in Albany, you got a home rule message signed by our mayor.
Yes.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about that. How did that feel to have the whole picture?
Well, when the mayor de Blasio signed it, it was like, that was like the 6th year. So it was fulfilling, and it gave me hope.
Right.
And when the second year, the 2017 came in, and Senator Hamilton took it, and I got a phone call at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and they were so excited, and I thought it was a dream. And when I woke up, I had to look at my phone, and when I saw that it was a call for 3 in the morning from Albany, that's when I realized that it was came to fruition.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to join you on the 27th on the steps of City Hall. We hope that everyone will come out and share in this moment of saving lives. That's what it is. We're saving lives through Brianna, your daughter, our daughter, the city's daughter. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
God bless you, man. Appreciate it. Thank you for your friendship.
Yes, sir.
We'll be right back with the CEO of this wonderful, outstanding foundation on the other side of the break. Welcome back. I'm Clark Pena, and once again, this is your Advocates Corner. We had the mother, Carmen, the father, Michael, of Brianna, and now the gentleman that stepped up to the plate, the CEO of the Brianna Lives Foundation, Zaki Tamir. Counselor, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Welcome. Tell us how you got it all together. It's going well. Obviously, we're going to be saving a lot of lives. Tell us how you got involved.
It was really amazing for me to hear about Brianna's story. And I simplified it for myself in my own mind and in my own heart to connect to it on a different level and recognize that there's a technique out there that's not a secret. It's a technique that's not known to a secret group. It's known to the world. It's simply about a person learning CPR and knowing how to do it, and then being able to make the difference between life and death of a person in an emergency situation. It's almost like not to sound too, mystical about it, but it's almost like a godly power. Like you can continue somebody's life. You can affect a person to have, and it's not only for police, it's for everybody. And I really connected to the organization and their effort almost immediately. And it was really an honor for me when I did connect it on that level, and I really wanted to become a part of it and become a part of the effort and contribute as much as I can, that the parents selected me to be the CEO of this organization. And I'm humbled by that responsibility, and I really, really hope to be able to live up to those expectations, because in truth, Brianna does live with every single life that she saves. Every single life that Brianna saves, she's living through that person again and again. And in this particular case, it was a police officer, and there is a certain specific focus on police officers in a sense, because police officers are supposed to be the ones that we turn to be able to help us in these exact type of situations. And CPR was a requirement of the police department at the time of Brianna's death. But it wasn't implemented, and it wasn't a law. It was something that wasn't taken seriously. And unfortunately, that officer was either unwilling or unable to administer CPR. And if I'm able to join an effort and to bring this onto a national stage and say, hey, this technique this secret shouldn't be a secret. This technique could save a life. You could bring a person back to life with this, with information, with a 4-hour course. It is an honor for me to be a part of this organization, and I intend to put in all of my resources and help and assistance and skill to bring this really to the next level. And I've connected to the parents on a very, very personal level. And this is something very, very real, and they have a certain energy and a certain power that it's amazing, it's awesome. And I was attracted to it immediately. And I think that everybody in this country is going to be attracted to it. Absolutely. I think that the government was attracted to it. I think that the law was attracted to it.
Absolutely.
And that's how Brianna's law came into being.
Absolutely. And it's really great to have someone like you that not only has a good heart, but you're very knowledgeable. You're an attorney. You know the law. The BriannaLives.org, BriannaLives.com. What is your goal?
Well, the ultimate mission of the foundation is to be able to give education of CPR, to teach CPR in practical training. Here, this is your neighborhood. You want the people in your neighborhood to live long and be healthy. You want your family to live long and be healthy. Make sure that you're able to be useful in a time of emergency. It doesn't need to be a police officer or a nurse or a doctor or a paramedic or an EMT. It could be a father and a mother and a brother and a sister that can help out and be the most useful as possible in a time of emergency. This is something that's so easy. It's such an easy solution that's able to come into play in the times that you need it the most. And that's the goal. The goal is to establish, number one, awareness that people should want to do this and understand its importance. And number two is to be able to bring towards, this thing, training, funding, to be able to, besides for the awareness of it, and people, instead of people running around and looking for it, that we'll be able to provide it. Since I became involved with this organization and since I became CEO, there is an amazing new sense of energy that I'm getting, and a new a vibe that I'm feeling, so to speak, that people are relying on this organization to provide it. People are saying is, hey, this girl didn't make it, but we will. What should we do? Where should we go? Every single person that I approached about this organization has been, donating their time, donating their money, wanting to get involved. It's just been amazing. It's like this organization brought like a new opening into my life, that when I talk to people about it, it opens their heart up.
Yes. Something for those that are listening to us now, how can they become involved? Where do they go if they want to give, if they want the training? Where can they go? Is there a website or someplace where they can reach us?
Thank God we're getting these things, off the ground. Right now we have Brianna Lives Foundation. The foundation is fully established. The website is briannalives.com.
briannalives.com.
And briannalives.org. But we're, briannalives.com is, the most common. And we're going to be doing a launching campaign that's going to be on the 27th and the 28th.
Okay, 27th and 28th
of August.
Of August.
Of this month.
Got it.
And that's going to be a campaign that's going to be all the people that have been coming, at least the ones, and there's been corporations and companies that have been coming to meet together with me and to meet together with Michael and Carmen. And they're already putting a right foot forward with funding and with helping to just the structure of it. And right now is the building portions of it. Now, during those 2 days is going to be a portion of the campaign that's going to be the seed money to start off these training programs in New York State. And that's really where we're starting off. Ultimately, we're going to be moving from New York State to nationwide. And all of these organizations, every single one of them that we're talking to, is looking for different ways to get involved. Now, we're starting to set that stage and to set up each way. Some organizations are able to have personnel that are able to donate their time. Right. Some organizations are able to say, hey, I'm a doctor in this neighborhood. I would love for people in my neighborhood to know CPR. I would love to minimize the amount of deaths of heart attack or things that can, the amount types of deaths that can be avoided from, from treatment of CPR. So there's a lot of different ways that people can donate. A lot of times people like to write a check and say, okay, here, this is my donation. Please do what you guys do best. A lot of times people are like, look, I want to really get involved more. I want to volunteer towards a program. And there's
many ways.
There's many ways that people can contribute to this.
And they can find all this out on briannalives.org, briannalives.com.
That's correct.
Sir, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
This is your home.
Indeed.
Always come back. And thank you for joining us. I'm Clark Pena for the Advocates Corner. Let us thank Carmen, let us thank Michael, and most importantly, let us thank Brianna. You're saving lives. Let's keep it going.
Amen.
Until next time.